Get ready. It's time for the Me and Jesse podcast with Mark Pavelich and Jesse Martineau. Get ready. It's time for the Me and Jesse podcast with Mark Pavelich and Jesse Martineau.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Me and Jesse podcast. My name is Mark Pavelich, and away in the Grove, the big sexy, the star of the show. Guys, he's not tired. He's pretending he's tired. I don't know why, but great. Jesse
lots going on. We got lots going on. I'm already prepping myself for the Super Bowl.
Oh, you getting excited? What are you doing for the Super Bowl anyway? What does Jesse Martineau do for the Super Bowl?
Well, it's my second favorite holiday. And
Yeah,
I'll just say this. I'll say this. I'll leave it with this. Monday morning is not good.
Should I be scheduling a repeat on
maybe.
on that day?
Yeah, it's always a rough day. It's always a rough day on that Monday morning. But hey, why not? It's the Super Bowl, for crying out loud. You do it.
I agree. But what's your plans this year? You got good plans or what?
Well, we're working on some different stuff this year. Usually I have a big party, but this year is going to be a little different.
I know you do.
I have a few options. So I'm just kind of, you know what? I'm
You're
just
not
going to play it by ear this year. No.
You're what?
I'm going to play it by ear this year.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't want, I don't want everyone showing up to where I go.
At least you're honest. At least you're honest about it.
Well, I do love the Super Bowl. I think it's a spectacle that can't be missed. And it is one of those things that everybody has to watch. Like, even people that don't care and never watched a game, never watched a snap for the last decade, they still watch the Super Bowl.
You know what the crazy part is? Now that you hit Las Vegas, one of my favorite cities on the entire planet by a million miles, I literally feel it. I feel at home in Edmonton, Alberta. I feel at home when I'm in Las Vegas. Like, when I arrive in Las Vegas, I walk around like, oh, I'm at home. Like, it feels like home to me.
Yeah.
So when I saw the ticket prices of $9,800 US for the average ticket price, I was like, oh, I understand why you're going to Vegas now, because Las Vegas can do that. Las Vegas can get the prices up double, maybe even triple to what they should be, for the sole purpose is it's in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's it. That's the only reason why. And literally, when I saw the price tag, I'm like, I'm taking you, Jesse, so I got to get 2 tickets. So I'm in for 20 G's US, so I'm in for 20 G's US to take you to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Plus hotel, plus getting there, plus we're not going to be sitting there sipping on water.
We are not. And then, so you're doing the math, and I start to think, maybe it is time for me to join a private golf course.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's what I looked at. I was like, well, if I'm even crazy enough to do that, I think I'm going to just join a private golf course once and for all and be that bougie, white, successful male.
Right. You know what, though?
That's my new pronouns. That's my new pronoun,
that's
too.
Good.
So
I like
just in case you want to call me anything, that's what
they are predicting this could be the biggest, most watched Super Bowl of all time.
Oh, I think so.
Do you know why?
And do I know why?
Yeah.
It's not because of Taylor Swift.
It is because of Taylor Swift.
It is.
Listen,
I got someone on Twitter. I told you last week, they were like saying like everybody hates Taylor Swift. I'm like, people don't hate Taylor Swift. We hate Travis Kelce, but we'd love him if he was on our team. He's that guy. He's that meathead that was in school. The meathead jock. He's the meathead jock, and the meathead jock that, you know, like if you were friends with him, it was kind of cool, but he kind of was listening to you, but he was kind of punch drunk already in high school. That's him.
I know, but it's so funny because they were saying like, you know, this has actually been huge for the NFL.
Oh,
Taylor
definitely.
Swift thing has been massive, and so she apparently is flying back from Japan like overnight to make it to the game.
Oh
so
yeah, because she was at the Grammys yesterday.
Tour. Yeah. So
she's, Grammys, Japan, Las Vegas. Listen, Jesse, when you're to that level,
oh yeah,
and you're flying in private jets,
yeah,
she's gonna take some kind of pill to make her sleep.
Oh, for sure.
She's gonna get up with a massage.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna make some spectacular breakfast. She's gonna be in Las Vegas, staying at the best suite. Listen, there is no jet lag when you're at that level. You understand that? Because they know how to play that game.
They do. And again, so like they're already talking. And again, I've talked to many people, predominantly females, that are going to watch the game on Sunday because Taylor Swift's going to be there. And it's crazy, but hey, this is the kind of thing that, you know, you take advantage of, and the NFL's doing a good job, and the networks are doing a good job by just showing her constantly every other time.
I heard that she was only been shown a total of 1 minute total.
Yeah, maybe total. Yeah.
Total.
It doesn't matter.
Not even 1 minute. They said how much money that has generated was like $40 million.
Yeah.
They don't even show her they show her for 10 seconds, 5 seconds.
Yeah, 3 seconds.
Never long.
Her jumping up and down, and then a replay of it.
And then just a flash.
Yeah,
you know,
it's actually, you know, I man, oh man, it is interesting to watch it unfold. Like now, the Chiefs are everybody knows who the Chiefs are because of this. Not that they didn't before. I mean, they're Super Bowl. It's not to take away from that, but it's still people that did not care.
Fans.
Yeah, people that do not care about football
Yeah.
know who the Kansas City Chiefs are. They know who Travis Kelce is because of Taylor Swift. It's actually pretty incredible. Now, here's the thing: the NHL tried to do this in LA. Remember? And we had Keller Rudy on the show once, and he talked about the celebrities being there, and he said it's crazy because there's like movie stars everywhere, and they're in the dressing room. Why not start to do some of these ambassadorship things with some of these people?
Jesse, when I owned the MFC, I did my show at Caesars Windsor. Okay, there was 7,000 people there.
Mm-hmm.
I went to look at ringside, and I saw Tommy Hitman Hearns. I saw Billy Ocean. I saw many famous rappers, okay, that were there from the Detroit area. Lil Wayne was there. I mean, these are huge artists, okay? Yeah. And Lionel Richie. I mean, they were all there at my show. You know what I couldn't understand? What we didn't do? First of all, I took one picture the whole night. It was with Tommy Hearns. He asked to take a picture. Why this time around, now that I own I'm one of the owners of Unified Boxing, I will never make that mistake ever again. I will now show every famous person that comes into my venue. I will take pictures with everybody that's famous, which I've never done in my entire life. You imagine I'm saying this on our live show. I will never make that mistake again. Taylor Swift has flipped the script on it. I will make sure that all the famous hockey players and famous sports people, they will be on camera. They will be taking pictures with me and our other partners. And that's the way I'm going to roll this time around. I was signing a girl fighter. She's top 20 in the world locally on the weekend. I took a picture with her. She is one of 2 people in 25 years that I've ever took a picture with, because I said, that's a wrap. It's time to flip the script, because we've seen what Taylor Swift has done for NFL football. And if NFL football is dumb enough to think that she hasn't, well, and which they might not, because the guy that runs NFL football is an effing moron. But besides that, she literally has, like, I bump into girls now that are asking me questions about NFL football because they want to know more. And they're not dumb questions. They're just questions that they don't know about football. And they're asking me about it. And I'm like, these people would have never asked me about this kind of stuff before. Never.
Yeah, it is, you know, and again, it's the area we're in. So maybe back when the MFC was at Caesars, like okay, maybe the social media influencing thing wasn't a big deal then, but now it is. Now it's like, and we look at Live Golf. Like Live Golf literally had like PGA had to merge with them because of Live Golf social media.
But look what happened this weekend. Even with Live Golf, Live Golf's first event this year, what did they do? So they're not officially merged yet. You know that, right?
No.
It's not official.
Yeah.
And you know why it's not official? Because they ran their first event the same weekend as the Pebble Beach ran theirs, which is a huge weekend for the PGA.
Yeah.
But guess what? John Ram is now with Live Golf. So what do you think everybody does? They go, no, I'm going to watch Live because John Ram's there, Dustin Johnson, DeChambeau, all these guys are there. All the big dog hitters are over there. So all of a sudden, it's like they showed the split now of who watched what, and it's like, wow. If you don't think Live Golf has thrown an elbow shot to the PGA, you know what, Jesse? We said it on the show a long time ago. They better merge.
Yeah.
They better merge because they're basically 3-4 players away from being extinct.
It is crazy. Like, I mean, it will. Like, they have to. I don't think it was happening yet. I think it was happening like at the beginning of the
next year.
Because officially, the PGA. I thought it was April-ish or something, but I could be wrong. But
you might. We'll look into that because I agree. Because I thought it was supposed to be like right away, and it's not.
I thought it might have been after, like during the Masters or something like that.
I will never make that mistake again. My entire career, 16 years, so many famous people have come to the Maximum Fighting Championship. I never took a picture with nobody. I never showed them when they were at the crowd. I wanted to respect their privacy. I'm like, screw your privacy, man. If you come to my show now, you're on camera. I'm going to make sure, TV guy, make sure you film who just walked in.
Right.
And that's the way it's going to be from now on, like as much as possible. And I just want to put a little shout out to Carl Weathers, who passed away, Apollo Creed, this last week here. And I have the greatest story with Apollo Creed and Carl Weathers. Yes, a true story. There's a place in Martineau, Pavelich and I were in Venice Beach, California for about 12 days. So I trained at Venice Beach Golds every day with all the best bodybuilders in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I go, this guy tells me, you got to go to the firehouse to literally have breakfast before you work out at Gold's Gym. The firehouse is still there to this day. So everybody still goes there. 31 years ago, I'm sitting at the firehouse. Mano and I walk in, and the guy says, I only have 2 seats available at the counter. And do you mind having breakfast with Carl Weathers? And I was like, I've never heard that before. So we sit down. I get next to this guy. It's Carl Weathers, me, and Mano, and nobody else.
Wow.
Everybody has at tables. He literally was like so big and thick.
Yeah, he's
like
big,
man. Like not I don't mean like thick fat. I mean like he was dense.
Yeah.
It was just dense.
Yeah.
He had so much food in front of him, Jesse. It was hilarious. And there I am eating my little bowl of oatmeal. He looks over at me and he says, listen, you ever want to be big, Mark, you got to eat more than that bowl of oatmeal. But he was just the sweetest guy in the world. He wasn't the guy that you think like, he was just a nice human being. We literally had breakfast, and then he was enthralled by my beautiful wife speaking French. And, it was just a really neat experience, but it was at the firehouse in Venice Beach, California. And it was with Carl Weathers / Apollo Creed. And it was a great memory. And he passed away this past week. And awesome guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, back to the Super Bowl. Who do you got in this game?
Well, of course, I'm going to go for San Francisco. I'm not going to pick the KC. I couldn't do it in a million years. I hate KC. I despise them. Mahomes is like the biggest baby I've ever seen. He's the biggest whiner, pisser, complainer. I can never get past that. I can get past Kelsey. I can't get past him. So I want them to go down in flames. I want them to get murdered. That's what I want. Now, is that going to happen? The point spread keeps changing. At one point, it was like 4 or 5 points. Now it's 1 point. Then it's 2 points, and now it's like even. And it's like, okay, this is a super close Super Bowl, one of the closest in history. The team matchups.
Well, come on, who are you gonna pick? You gonna pick San Fran then?
San Fran.
And you know a score?
I think it's going to be 31-24.
Ooh.
31-24 San Fran.
I'm going to go 31-27 San Fran.
31-24. That's what I picked, Mark. And what's Jesse saying?
Actually, I'm going to go less. I was going to go 24 San Fran. 17.
Wow, that low, eh?
Yeah.
Both San Fran. Okay, so I just
20%.
think I think San Fran is so due to win this Super Bowl. Like I actually think they're due to win. Like it's
Well,
not even a
You're wearing the
yeah,
hoodie.
yeah. Well, I'm wearing the hoodie on purpose today.
Yeah.
Look at everybody. Listen, this is Having Faith by Eric Harris.
Yeah.
Dear friend of the show, awesome guy. We keep in contact almost on a daily basis. It's almost comical. We love him. We wish him the best. We want him to win. For him now, after the year he had,
Yeah.
and then to even have the talk that he can win a Super Bowl ring,
It's mind-blowing.
Listen, all glory to the Most High, because
It's crazy.
having faith is his brand.
Yeah.
I encourage you, and the quality of it is fantastic.
Excellent.
It literally, it's not like your normal hoodie. It's not like your normal stuff. It is very well done. Eric Harris, Having Faith. I'm wearing one of his hoodies today, and he is in the Super Bowl this Sunday.
We'll be right back, everybody, on the Me and Jesse podcast.
Get ready. It's time for the Me and Jesse podcast with Mark Pavelich and Jesse Martineau. Get ready. It's time for the
Welcome back, everybody, to Me and Jesse podcast. My name is Mark Pavelich, away in the Grove, the big sexy Jesse Martineau, and our special guest, everybody, fighting this weekend. Look at him. You can see him vibrating. You can see him vibrating, everybody. Max Payne Griffin.
Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Well, hey, we're excited, man. Like, talk about this fight you got coming up right away, February 10th. What are you going to do to this guy?
I'm going to smash him. I'm going to smash this guy. He's a great fighter. We're all great, but I'm ready, man. I've never been this good, never been so sharp, never been this just prepared. And
What's different this time around?
I mean, I'm a grower. I always grow. I'm about learning. I'm about reading, progressing, doing everything, right? And then stacking on those things and then just learning, man. I learn, evolving, and doing the right things over and over and over again. I'm ready, man.
Max, how does that happen? 2016, you're in the UFC. You have a weird record where it looks like you're overachieving at times, and then it looks like, why would he underachieve here? And then you see that you beat guys that people go, he's never going to beat. Max is never going to beat that guy. And then you smash him, and then all of a sudden, the people they expect you to win against, sometimes you don't. So that's the part of, because I've always loved to watch you fight.
Yeah.
And I always thought, sometimes you look like, oh my God, you're like so into it and like you're going to kill somebody. And then other times, like when you've lost certain fights, and I was like, no, he's not. How could he lose this fight? He's so much better than this guy.
Yeah.
Am I right or wrong? Am I right or
A lot
wrong?
of splits. I'd say they're splits, though.
Splits.
Lost
Yeah.
all split decisions. I lost the fight I lost last. I really lost against Morales, but all those other fights, there were splits, man.
I know,
Yeah.
crazy.
Look at, like,
Crazy.
in bad splits though. Like,
Yeah,
you know, they did me dirty, man. Even on Neil Magny fight, I fought Neil Magny in Columbus
agree.
last year.
I agree.
I beat him 2 rounds to 1.
Clearly.
And even backstage, Mick Maynard came back. Hey, me and Dana Tachi won. They paid me my win money.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
I would have been number 9. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Wow.
yeah, they paid me my win money, like straight up, right back there. It's political, man. Sometimes, I mean, when he was walking out, they were saying that if Magny wins this fight, he's gonna beat the record for most welterweight wins in UFC history. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like karma from a past life or something, but I've had a lot of fights where I've lost bullshit split decisions.
Yeah.
Like majority. And
So
they know.
Do you feel that? Do you feel like you have to finish more now? Like, because it's
Yeah,
like,
I
is there
felt
like an
that.
urgency for that now?
Yeah, but it's just gonna happen now. You know,
Yeah.
I let that go. I let that kind of
Mm.
angst go. Like
Good.
I have to finish.
Yeah, good.
Now it's just gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. So okay. Now Mark said this. I know Dana says this too, but you say you don't leave it to the card. So you have 9 knockouts. Like, how do you make sure that it doesn't get to that stage again of getting a split?
You know, I just gotta fight, man. I've evolved. Like I've been working small things, and I brought my primal instinct stuff back. I'm getting really experienced, and I fought a lot of great guys, beat world champions. I mean,
Yeah.
Carlos Condit, I beat some
I'm
really
marking that down. I'm
greats.
primal instinct back. I'm writing that
Yeah,
down.
like
I like that.
if you see amateurs fight, they just go in there and just wing it, right? They
Right.
just eat the
Yeah.
guys. Those are the fun fights to watch.
Sure.
But as you get older and more experienced, you have you do know more. Like even this Morales fight, it was close. I won the first round. He made some good adjustments in the second round, and he put me in positions that we trained to not be in. Like, hey,
Oh, yeah.
don't overextend. That's when he knocks people out. So he was good at making me overextend. So I was like, damn, I don't want to go in that danger zone, you know. So it was like sometimes you need to bite down and just F it and just do that. So now I'm back to using strategy still because I've beaten some of the best guys on the planet ever. And then it's like, but now I'm bringing back that, like, bite down. I'd rather die on my shield now. So now it's like, let's go, baby. Let's run it.
How did this camp compare to the last one then?
They're all good camps, but I mean, this camp, I got a cold plunge. Shout out to Mod Tub. I've been cold plunging twice a day, every day in the morning. I hate it. I'm doing more stuff that I don't want to do. I'm working with Cody Linton, the national champion from Team Alpha Male. He looks like Thor. He's been holding me down. He's a Viking. And then I added Coach Joey into the fold. Coach Joey Rodriguez. He's Josh Emmett's coach. You seen what he did to Bryce Mitchell this last time out.
Yep.
And I've been working with him, and it's just been a tremendous growth, man. And I've been wrestling with Ryan Loader, Anthony Hernandez, in the garage, just grinding. Like every Tuesday, he takes me down, I take him down, I take Ryan down. We just rotate. It's terrible, but I've been doing all the right stuff. A lot of privates, one-on-ones with the best guys, man. Anthony has a big fight coming up. He's number 13 right now in the world. Fluffy, my brother, man. He's dogging these guys, man. But yeah, I'm ready, man. I'm so ready and so excited.
So where do you see yourself? Like, so you're in this game since you're in the UFC since 2016. So you literally
7 years there.
Can you imagine 7 years is like in dog years in the UFC? That's like being in the company for 40 years. You know what I mean? Who's in like 7 years in the UFC? That's bananas. Like there's not people in the UFC. That's for people at home that watch this show religiously. When I said 7 years, they think, oh, that's not a long time. That is forever in the UFC.
It's easy to go there, man. It's easy to go like out. Like you lose 2 bad fights, you get beat. Like I've lost. But I haven't got. I mean, I lost to Kobe Covington, but that was close, man. Before he beat me at the end of that, I heard him in the first round and almost Kimura'd him, and But as far as getting beat, you see guys get beat every weekend. Bad.
Yeah.
If I'm in a fight, I lost a split. You know, and
it's true. It's true.
It's not like I'm getting pummeled. So you see guys lose a couple fights and then get cut. You see guys get ranked and then they're gone.
So where would you see yourself in the rankings? If you say right now, like because I'm looking for you and I'm like, he should be right about here. But where do you see yourself?
What do you mean? Where do I see myself? Like,
yeah, but do you see yourself in the top 10?
If I would have beat Neil Magny, I'd be number 9.
That's right. That's right.
You know, like
but you didn't. So where do you see yourself logistically? You're in the top 15 for sure.
In my mind, I'm one of the best. And let me fight one of these guys.
Yeah.
You know, they cherry pick these fights against each other, man, and it's like
It's hard to break into that.
No one
isn't it?
wants to fight me, bro.
It's not a good idea.
It's not like an easy fight for anyone. That you're not just gonna come in there and steamroll me. I saw a thing that said I got finished once in my whole career, and that was by Colby. Now, I was just pinned. I wasn't out. It wasn't hurting. He just had me cross-side leg ride and my wrist rode, and they were rabbit punches. I wasn't out. I was just stuck. So I've knock on wood. I've never been finished. You know what I mean? I'm not one of those guys that just goes out there and just rolls over.
Never.
And I'm dangerous every second. So, this is gonna be a beautiful fight. This guy's gonna come after me, and it's the first shorter guy I fought in
ever.
I mean, Ramiz was short. I took his ear off.
That's right.
That's right.
Ramiz, but I mean, the last 5-6 guys. I mean, Carlos Condit, Neil Magny, Tim Means. They were towers. Even Morales was taller than he said. But I'm longer than this guy. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to this fight.
Yeah. So
how many more years? How many more years you got?
At least 5.
5.
I'm
feeling
young.
good?
I look young. I'm getting older, but man, I'm slick, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like my body. There was a few years ago when I was like, damn, is my body falling apart? I hurt my back. In 2018, I was like, damn, is this? But dude, I do red light every other day. I do the cold plunge. I meditate. I'm all into recovery. I do PT twice a week, chiropractor twice a week, 2 massages a week. I'm really into my recovery. I eat healthy, I eat grass fed. I eat organic, like alkaline water, bro. I'm
Wow.
I'm in the game, man.
Holy shit! All of it.
I'm like high level frequency, bro.
What do you do for right in here?
I have a mental coach, Danny Patterson. He's out of Canada. Excellent guy. Really got my core values down. Gratitude. I meditate. I'm centered. I have this new thing called a Muse S.
What's that?
You wear it on your head. And
I've seen
it does
that.
guided meditations. And then like there's a thing you close your eyes and you do these things. And like there's a rainforest one, right? Like there's so many different programs, but it's like pours rain. And if your mind's not centered, it gets louder, and then you could calm your mind. Then it will be like a sprinkle, and then the rain will go away, you know. And then once you get off track, it goes like pouring rain again. You have to like
refocus
your mind. Yeah, you have to focus and freaking. You hear little Tweety birds if you're doing well. I've just been. Your mind's everything.
Mm-hmm.
Your mind's everything, and I believe that. And I'm big on mind, big on spirit, man, and it's gonna show.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, you see that you could have all the talent in the world, but if you're not, you're mentally not there.
Yeah, I mouth tape now. I've read this book.
Oh
by,
yeah,
James
totally.
Nestor, by James Nestor. Like 80% of people mouth breathe.
Yeah,
and we're not supposed to. We're supposed to nose breathe. That's what they're for. And I read this book, by James Nestor. They did a study, 10 days of tape the nose. Their blood pressure went up. Their blood oxygen went down. Their HRV went down. Their heart rate went up. Their respiratory rate went up.
So you're taping the mouth too, though. You're taping the mouth now too when you sleep.
Yeah. So and then they did a study where they 10 days they taped them out. They did the Harvard study. Dude, the results flipped. Heart rate went down. Blood pressure went down. Everything, like blood pressure, I mean, I bought tape that night that I read that damn book. So I've been taping for 3 weeks. I've just been conscious of what's going on. Cardio too. It's hella boosts your cardio and your endurance, and like
it all works together, doesn't it?
Dude, I mean, I love learning. I love learning about like self-improvement.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's no limit to how great you can be.
That's 100% correct.
So
if you don't have a growth mindset, then what's the point?
A lot of people don't have it.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
These guys get jacked up all the time and smashed, and they don't know their way. And it's that's not my style.
No. Well, it's you're talking about a lifelong thing too, not just a few years in the UFC.
Yeah. It's a blessing, man. And a lot of gratitude too. A lot of gratitude to mindset, a lot of being in the present.
What are you most thankful for?
I'm grateful for everything. My life, my family, my opportunities, a lot of people that I touch, and I have a big fan base, but I have a lot of community that I deal with. I'm helping out with this group, Impact SAC. I help a lot of kids, like because my son, I have a 12-year-old, I have a 2-year-old. He'll be 3 this month. But I got in. He used to live with his mom in Fairfield. It's like a like a worse neighborhood, than normal. And I got in the school system and started doing assemblies and talking to the kids and kind of motivating them. I was like, yo, these kids need us. They need
Yeah.
someone that can help them. So I've been doing that, talking to schools, and I talk to class. I read books to different classes and help around and do drives and
Unbelievable.
do all kind of stuff. But Impact SAC, I just got with them a few weeks ago. I did a baby shower. I was at my cousin's baby shower, and we did it at this youth center, and I met the lady, and she's like, yo, we do this right here, and we have grants, and we help these kids locally in my neighborhood. So I linked up with them. We're doing some campaigns, and I'm very thankful to be able to help. Like I
So
didn't
Max,
get
how
help
does
when
that
I was
go?
young.
So that's what it's from though, Max, because as we see now in the world, in the NFL and all these other places where these guys are saying, no, man, I don't want to be a role model. You're talking guys that are making 20, $30 million a reel. They're saying that out loud. I don't want to be a role model. I don't want the pressure of people watching me. I don't want none of that stuff. So don't be don't be with me. But you took the flip side of that and said, wait a second. You're not saying it, but you are doing it.
Yeah, I know when I was a kid, my dad left. He's not dead or anything, but he left when I was 13. He left and did his own thing. I was the man of the house for my brothers and stuff. And I was getting in trouble, man. I was getting in trouble. A teenage boy, like, hanging out with the
Yeah.
wrong people, that they're
Yeah.
getting in trouble, man. And so I'm like, yo, I need to be around these kids, and they need someone that's positive and does the right thing. You know what I mean? It's important. It's really important, and I it resonates with me. It resonates with me. I feel the love, man, and I get the letters. Hey, my brother. I've talked to so many kids, hundreds, thousands of kids. Not hundreds, but I mean, not hundreds of thousands, but
Yeah.
thousands of kids. And I get letters like, yo, my brother used to call me fat. Remember you said don't worry about anything he says, and now I lost 10 pounds, and I don't care what he says, and I'm on my way. And yeah, like if I could impact anyone, like that's this platform, man. Like I'm here for a reason. Like I got out of my shit when I was young. I luckily survived, didn't get killed, didn't go locked up forever. I made it out. I feel like there's a plan, and I'm too good at this fighting stuff, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it so much. I'm telling you, man.
Your
So
youngest son, Tyrus, will you push him? Will you push him to be in martial arts?
he's a maniac. He used to watch fights when he was young. He used to lay in his thing and just watch them, and he wants to fight all the time. He's like, let me warm up. I'm like, what do you know how to warm up? He's like, I'm ready to fight. He wants to fight. He has boxing gloves. He has a punching bag. He's a maniac. He's a crude. He's a freaking wild boy, man. But I mean, I'm not gonna force him. But I mean, he wants to do it.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I wouldn't push this sport on anybody. Honestly, it's
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say.
Yeah,
It's
it's
tough.
funny because we have people on the show and like a lot of from all different sports, but especially in MMA, and a lot of guys said the same thing as you. That it's like I'm not gonna let him go that direction. It's like, but if he goes and sees his dad doing it, like
There's a good chance
if he
he wants to do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna push it. I mean, we're fighting to the death in there.
Yeah.
To me, like life and death. You could lose an ear. You
How
could
did that happen,
die,
by the
I mean,
way?
you could,
yeah.
How did the ear
What's
thing?
that?
How did that go down?
It was disgusting.
Yeah.
Well, I fought this guy Ramiz Brahimai. He was a up and comer, 8-0, all first round submissions, grappler. I thought he was gonna come in there and choke me out. And that's what he was saying on the interviews. I was gonna choke Max out, and I got mad about that. It was also my first fight with my new mental coach, Danny Patterson. We got my core value. He's like, he watched my videos. He's like, man, you need to have fun. He's like, I watch your videos of Mike Perry and all these guys that you beat, and the best fights, you were enjoying yourself. I could tell.
Yeah.
So he's like, have fun out there and stuff, and I did, and I whooped that fool's ass from bell to bell. He was flushing down the drain, bloody pulp, and at the end, I hit him with a clean right, and it like kind of sliced his ear, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
And then I had him on the cage. He was flushing down the drain, like just ready to go. And my coach was like, break off the cage. And I just had him, and I wanted to elbow him. And I had him overhook and freaking elbowed him. Didn't even know I ripped his ear off.
Oh.
Put my head on him, and then I had my head on him, and then peeled back. And I was like, oh my God. I seen in his head. Unexpected though.
Oh,
I didn't
boy.
think I'd see that. I mean, I had
No.
pressure. In the fight, I'm like, oh my God. And he's like, what? You know, he's like, stop fighting too. I mean, we're fighting. And I'm like, oh my God. It was disgusting. I knew it was over.
Yeah.
I like
right.
I mean, I've seen shit stop for cuts, and this was hanging off.
Yeah.
And the ref, Mark Smith, ran over there, and he was like, oh, hell no, this is over.
Oh,
I ran and jumped on the cage.
The whole front row's throwing up, right? So
Yeah, I still get squeamish. I got on the cage. There's blood in my teeth, blood in my mouth.
Man.
It was disgusting.
Yeah.
It felt real primal, though. Bring it back up.
Yeah.
I felt like
Yeah.
a savage. I felt like some 300 freaking
Yeah.
warrior. You know what I mean? Like, it was great. It went viral. It was on World Star.
Yeah.
My kids saw it. My kids' friends were like, oh, I saw your dad. He knocked his ear off on TikTok. You know,
For sure they
that's
did.
with him anymore. I'll tell you that.
No.
Oh no.
No.
A lot of people I mean, geez, when you Google your name, like it is like it's always in there.
Yeah,
That video is always
I was the
always
only
popping
one.
up.
You know, I'm one of the only guys that ever do that.
Yeah.
Especially in the UFC. I mean, I think some guy blew someone's ear up a couple years ago, in like Russia or something. But I'm the first guy that knocked someone's ear off like that in UFC.
Well, Mike Tyson
Yeah.
did it too.
Yeah, but he did it. I
It was a
think
joke.
mine, the elbow,
Oh, I agree.
and if I could do it once, I could do it again.
Yeah. Well,
you imagine?
jeez, man, oh man.
Max,
If you
Max, I don't-
knocked another
that-
ear off,
Max,
let's be real.
I'm not joking. That would put you to another planet.
That would be insane. If you knocked
It would be
another
like
ear off,
Taylor Swift, Max Griffin. You know what I mean? It would be like Taylor Swift and then Max Griffin. This guy, he's doing this over here. Max knocking ears off over here. You know?
Oh,
I'm
my
gonna remember that. I'm gonna see what I can do Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday. How do you? So what's the rest of your week look like now? Are you take it easy now and get ready for the weigh-in?
Yeah, when do you fly to Vegas?
I fly tomorrow morning. Tomorrow at 1.
Yeah.
So I'm getting my hair braided right now.
Yep.
Getting my hair did. I got a haircut. Now it's just preparing. Just going through the motions, getting some weight off, but my weight's good. I'm happy, man. I love fight week. It's like some guys aren't fight week, they're in a bad mood and like they're all. I was at Team Alpha Male.
Yeah, why would you be? Why would you be?
A lot of guys, they don't feel good on fight week because
Right.
they're cutting, you know what I mean? They let that come out of
Yeah.
their emotion. But I'm excited. I get to go whoop someone's ass for some money. Like, let's go. I love it. I love fighting. So
What do you feel about the media side of it?
you know, I like talking. Sometimes depends who it is. You know, it's part of the game though. It's part of the game for
That's
me.
right.
It's part of the game. Some guys don't talk at all.
No.
Some guys I don't. Like Anthony don't talk to no one. I interviewed him today, you know, for my Filth Bomb Breaks homies. But like I saw a thing. He's like, I don't do any interviews, don't even ask. You know?
Wow.
You know what's crazy though? You know what's crazy? When will fighters realize that it started with Muhammad Ali and now it's escalated into Conor McGregor, Shale, the rest of these people? They've all kind of showed a blueprint of, I'm not saying trash talk, but I am saying is you do have to pick your identity and be that person. But if you want to be vanilla, go ahead. No one wants to eat vanilla ice cream. They want to eat Tiger Tail, man. They want to eat chocolate. They want to eat, you know what I mean? And
I do like vanilla Haagen-Dazs though.
That's the only
Different thing.
the only ones that can make it, right?
That's the only one. Yeah.
Yeah. But what I am saying though is it kills me to see guys that think, oh, I don't have to do this, I don't have to do this, but it doesn't translate into money.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't.
I mean, you get way more partnerships, and I know so many people, and it's just natural, man. I mean, for me, like I come from a corporate background as well. I used to, work corporate America, so I know how to talk to people, and it's part of the game, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's about relationships. It's about building relationships with people.
Yeah, Absolutely.
That's what life's about to me, you know? Like,
Yeah. Man, oh man.
I totally agree.
It is good. I mean, your philosophy on life is obviously, I mean, maybe it's even changed over the last couple of years by what you're saying, a little bit deeper, maybe, but
probably deeper.
But you know, like, I find that, you know, we talk to a lot of people. We always have people that kind of have your similar philosophy, but there's so many that don't, and it does translate, it seems, outside of, you know, not just the ring, but just in their life.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm in the ring, twice a year, 3 times a year for 15 minutes. What about the other?
That's so true. Yeah.
360 days. You know what I mean?
So
It's
true.
like,
so true.
What are you doing?
Absolutely. And like you said, like, I mean, you people do look at you, whether you want to or not. They do watch you, and you do get fans, and people want to mimic you.
Yeah, I feel like you got to be authentic, though, man. I mean, some people have they put on their little show and they put on their personality, but what I find, be me, man. Be the F out of you. That's I feel like, yeah, people will resonate with you that you resonate with, you know. If not, then they could go somewhere else, or they could follow someone else, or follow some fake ass person or something. I mean, that's on them. But
what do you listen to, Max? What do you listen to, like, when you're training? What's your music?
what am I listening to right now?
Who's your person?
What am I listening to right now? 21 Savage.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to listen to a lot of like old shit. It depends what I'm doing. If I'm like lifting heavy weights, I'm listening to like some old school like rock and shit, you know.
So you flip the script. So when you're doing one thing, you're listening to certain type of music, and then you do when you're training.
Yeah, it's different.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on mood, because
I listen to mood by mood.
Yeah.
Yeah. It all depends what I'm doing. You know, jiu-jitsu, maybe some reggae or something. It depends what I'm doing, man.
That's funny. That would go.
Depends.
Jiu-jitsu and reggae go. Yeah.
Yeah, it depends. So, yeah, man.
You know, one I want to like ask you this, and because a lot of people watch the show and they do watch it not just for the sports, but what we're talking about, the philosophy of life and things. Have you ever struggled with depression or mental health stuff? Like, what's been your struggles mentally that you've run into?
Yeah, I've lost some bad fights, man. I've lost some fights, like the Neil Magny thing. You know, like,
what did that do to you after?
Well, like, did I lose? Did I win? Even Thiago Alves. I beat the crap out of Thiago Alves in Brazil. And they gave him the fight. He was like, I didn't win in the fight. I didn't win. His coach, Mike Brown, I didn't win. We didn't win. We didn't do enough. But it's like, it's for Laser. It's scripted. It's messed up. But it's like, so you get home, you're like, did I lose that fight? Mentally, like, did I lose? Did I really win? Yeah, 30 out of 32 media sources said I won. The only 2 were from Brazil, and the 2 judges were in Brazil. It was more of a bigger deal that I lost by robbery than me winning. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, if I would have just won, but you go back home, you're like, did I really win? He said I won. Mick Maynard said I won. Everyone, the staff all said I won, but I lost. It's like, fighting's tough, man. So you have to be like internal, like, I beat him. You know what I mean? So like, you just gotta have thick skin, man, and be fortunate. You gotta be grateful, man. Even in the darkest days. And I know a lot of bad shit happens to each other and stuff, and you feel bad and stuff, but you gotta be strong. And I mean, you're still breathing. We've got through everything that we've ever been through. Always. And everything people say, well, you know, do you wish you could have changed that? You'd be number 9 now. My son is big on that. He's like, Dad, you'd be 26-3 with all your split decisions. Yeah. My son's real big on that. You know what I mean?
On the number. That generation is, though. That generation is, right? They're analytic. So they just see the numbers and they're like, wait a second, let me work this out a little different. And they're all like that. Yeah.
So I'm like, son, but I wouldn't be who I am if all that shit didn't happen. Yeah, like, I wouldn't be who I am. So it's like the butterfly effect, man. Yeah. I wouldn't change anything that's ever happened to me.
Wow.
Ever. Even the bad shit.
Yeah.
Even the shit I messed up on or not, just because I wouldn't be who I am today. And I'm in the present. A lot of people think this too. A lot of people are thinking about the past. They're depressed, and the people in anxiety, they're thinking about the future.
Right.
But it's always now. It's always now. It's now. It's now. Right now.
Yeah.
It's now. Right now again. It's always in the present. So if you're in the present and you're locked in there, that's when you're in the zone. That's when magic happens, man. That's when blessings come. That's when you can identify and recognize shit. And that stuff comes to you. You'll hear stuff if you ever hear. If you think about calling a friend, call them. Like if you get that voice, hit them up.
Go.
Go. And the more you do that, the more that shit happens. The more like synchronicities happen, and then you're like on the energy flow and like life. You're like, shit happens more than you can imagine, man. And life is good when you in the present.
I notice that lots with fighters. Like back in the day, they kind of get zoned out. Like they're actually in the octagon, but they're not in the octagon. They're kind of like floating away somewhere else. And that was something like back in the day when I worked on with, I trained multiple fighters that fought the UFC back in the day when I owned the MFC. And I would work on that with Jason McDonald, and he would kind of get zoned out during the fight. He wouldn't be like, you should be able to have a conversation while you're fighting with your trainer. I don't know if people understand that, but you should be able, in my opinion, I should be able to have I used to box with high-level boxers, and Jesse, you can attest to this. And I would be having conversations outside the ring while I was boxing with other people. That's what I worked on mentally, exactly what you're talking about, by being in the moment.
Yeah.
If I can't, I should be able to talk to my trainer while I'm fighting. And if I can't, I am not in the moment. I'm somewhere else.
Yep.
If people would practice that one small trait, I guarantee no one in the UFC in a million years is practicing what I just said. If you can't have a conversation when your trainer asks you while you're in the heat of a battle and says, Max, what did you have for breakfast today? And if you can't answer that question, you're not in the moment. Very basic, fundamental stuff. But that's if I knew anything about the MMA world or training people. So I'm just saying, but I had the athleticism of an acorn, but when I would spar with heavyweight boxers and boxers all over the world. And I've never had a professional boxing fight in my life. And I'd get out of the ring and people would go, bro, where did you win your gold gloves? And I'm like, I've never boxed ever in anything. And the difference is because I could make my brain be in the moment because I have zero athleticism. And so when I would be boxing, people would be like, why, how can he talk? And like, I'm talking to my opponent. I'm telling him to stop, crossing his feet in the back. And they're like, why is he doing that? Right. But that was something that I learned because I have zero athleticism. But at the same time is if you could take your brain to that level to have a conversation in the middle of a UFC fight with your trainer, and you and him are having a conversation back and forth, that's when you're in the moment.
Yep. That's a good tactic. That's a good way to
correct
ground yourself. And
I've never seen it yet. I've never seen someone calmly, if you're in cross-side on your opponent and say, hey, Jim, you want to see something go viral more than the ear? Do that in your next fight. Do that in your next fight, Max. Sit there and cross-side and go, Jim, is this not what we learned in training in our training camp? I am in position now to finish this fight. And then 10 seconds later, you finish it. And then people go, did you just see what Max did? The ear thing is forgotten. This is the new thing that you're that alert that you could do shit like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, we really appreciate your time tonight and obviously fighting this weekend. Really appreciate you coming on. We're watching.
Sitting next to that television.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Cheering for Max as he heads out there on February 10th. Make sure you watch it.
Yes, sir.
Thanks
Mr.
so
Wells,
much for joining
you're
us.
in big trouble, Mr. Wells.
Yeah,
we're just letting you know on the Me and Jesse podcast. It is coming fiercely. And listen, I'm going to tag you in the podcast so you can understand what's about to happen to you. It is not looking well for you at all this weekend. Look.
There it is.
There it is.
Max Payne Griffin Ready to go.
On the Me and Jesse podcast.
Me and Jesse
Ready to
podcast.
go, everybody.
Thanks so
Tune
much,
in.
man.
UFC Fight Pass.
I didn't freeze.
No. That's the look.
Thank you so much, Max. We greatly
Thank
appreciate you
you.
coming on the show, man.
Appreciate
Thank
your
you,
time.
Let's go. Let's go. Max Payne, everybody.
There he is. Thanks so much for joining us, man. That was awesome. Good guy.
Listen, you know what's funny? He's been following me on social media forever. I have no clue who's following me on social media. I look, Max Payne likes something that I said or someone on something, and then we're following each other on social media, and I'm like, oh my God, this guy's awesome. Like he's that guy that you watch and you go, oh, he's going to kill this guy in this fight, right? And then he doesn't. But then he fights someone that's supposed to kill him and he murders them.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then he's right. He is the king of the split decision. Like if you go check his record, it is absolutely weird how it's like split, win, split. You know, it's just, so he better figure that part out because it's not favoring him.
Right. Yeah. I mean, all
Not-
those
not-
split
not at all.
it's wild. Like, but again, hey, it's you know, I like what he says when he said, I'm not going to change. I couldn't change anything, but I don't want to change anything because it's made me who I am today.
Exactly.
And it makes you a stronger individual. Like I do. It's awesome to hear that. And he believes it. And I believe him saying it.
Me too, because you would think of like the losses or anything that has happened in your career, and I probably would too change certain things in my life. But the way he said it made a lot of sense. You know, the way he said, like, no, I wouldn't change nothing because that's where it brought me to the journey where I'm at today. And he's kind of right about that. It's like, yeah, he's right. It's like, you know, we did all these things in our life, dumb things, and you know, whatever the case may be. And it's like, yeah, you're right. It's like, but I wouldn't be here today if I didn't make those mistakes along the way. I just don't want to make them multiple times.
Right. Of course. And that's learning from your mistakes, what you said.
Correct. Correct.
It's great. Well, Super Bowl weekend.
Oof.
Very excited still. Taylor Swift's going to probably be there. Are you excited about that, Mark?
I don't have nothing wrong with Taylor Swift. I like her. I don't think she's ever did.
I'm not a
she's
fan.
never did-
Actually, no, I don't dislike her. I'm just not a fan.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
not one.
listen to her. That's okay, but I don't listen to her music. But as a human being, listen, I never forgot the time, ever, when what's his name? They used to be married to Kardashian, the rapper. Kanye. I'm joking. So Kanye, when he went on stage, when she won an award and said,
Yeah.
you shouldn't have won this award, blah, 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 blah. I went nuts because I felt so bad for her that day because I thought this idiot went on stage and said that, you know, Beyonce should have won and blah, blah, blah. I don't care. But that's never been seen ever in the history of the awards, that some idiot goes on stage and because the person he thought was going to win didn't win.
Right.
And from that day on, I always felt sorry for her because she handled it with a lot of class and didn't say anything. And this whole Kelsey thing, I think, is funny. But you know, the funniest part is if they actually got married. That would be the funniest part to me. So if during the Super Bowl he drops down on one knee if they win,
That would be something.
And he asks her to marry her right on live television, literally. The televisions will explode worldwide.
Oh yeah, it would be over. The internet would break instantly.
It would break.
But I mean, that's not going to happen. I don't think. They should have odds. There's got to be Vegas
Well, if
odds
they
on
don't
that.
win, if they,
Someone get the
you
odds.
know what's funny? Whether they win or lose, but if they win, I think there's a 20% chance.
They've been dating for like 3 months.
Listen, when you're that rich, my friend, it doesn't matter. 3 months is 3 years in that world. You know,
Why?
Because the amount of superficialness in that world is mind-boggling. But at the same time, is what do they got to do now? Like she's got so much money, he's got so much money. He's actually broke next to her.
Yeah, I know.
So he'll have to sign the prenup.
Oh,
you know,
100%
right?
he will.
Like she won't have to sign a prenup. He will.
Yeah.
So you have to understand that. You know, I think it's good. I think Kelsey is the kind of guy that will get married and then literally 2-3 years later will be the same guy that gets caught sleeping with the maid at some hotel. So that's Kelsey, you know, because he seems like that knucklehead kind of guy. You know what I mean? So that's how I perceive him as a human being.
Wow.
He's also the best tight end in football.
Sure. We'll give him that
Yeah.
for now.
For now.
Hopefully Kittle has something to say about that.
And I am hoping he does.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of pieces where, people like Bosa, Kittle, Mr. Irrelevant, they all need they have something to prove. So KC has nothing to prove, right? But when they start talking about KC already being on the same level as Tom Brady and the rest of the stuff, I find that so offensive because
I don't know, man.
Has won,
if they win this one, though.
Mahomes has won 2 Super Bowls. He's won 7.
But he's been to 4.
Yeah, but he's won 7. So what I'm trying to tell you is like,
no, I understand, but
the world we live in today, Jesse, the world we live in today is so quick to say, they're saying that Connor McDavid is like, he's over top of Gretzky. And I'm like, are you guys insane? Like he's not, he's nothing. He's like the best highlight reel in the NHL. Until he wins a Stanley Cup, it means nothing. It's the same thing when we used to talk about LeBron James before he started winning those titles. It's nothing. You're just you're a great highlight reel. It's awesome. But doesn't mean shit. You didn't win nothing. That's why Sidney Crosby is talked about still in a 10-time bigger light than Connor McDavid because he's won those Stanley Cups. And it's like, why in this world do we do this? Why do we like, I heard the other day, they're like, oh yeah, he's just like Tom Brady. He's the same as Tom Brady. I'm like, are you guys drunk? He is not. He's not even close yet. Now, if he wins this one, now we could start talking about it. You got 3. You've been how many times? Yeah, okay. He hasn't been in the league long enough to claim 7 Super Bowls.
Understand that too. But you're right. He hasn't been, but he's still going for his 3rd one in the amount of time he's at. It is crazy. And yeah, of course, a lot can happen. But he's already, I have to say, and I hate it, but he is in the conversation of one of the greats already.
I'm not saying that. Yes, but he's not Tom Brady-esque. He's not in that category. There's Tom Brady, and then there's everybody else.
I agree.
He's still with everybody else.
But I said if there's anybody, I agree with that.
But in this day and age,
if there's anyone that can do it right now, it's him.
But in this day and age, we got to do that. Isn't it weird that we have to, like, we see in golf, Jack Nicklaus has the most majors. Tiger does not. Tiger has this many wins, but Sam Snead had that many wins. Like, he's not over top of anybody. That's why Jack Nicklaus is still the greatest golfer of all time. Is Tiger Woods 1B? Yes, he is. Good for him. But he's not the best of all time because even statistically doesn't show he's the best of all time. But you see now in the world of this generation that's coming up right now that thinks every fucking thing revolves around them and that we have to, like, oh, this person's the best or better. Did you guys forget about Wayne Gretzky, you idiots? You sit there and watch and tell me that this guy's better or this Austin Matthews is better than Wayne Gretzky? Wake the fuck up, everybody. That is bullshit. And I can't stand listening to that shit no more. I've had it up to here with that because you got to start looking at the facts. And statistically, that generation underneath us wants to talk about numbers and things like that. Go check the numbers, everybody. The numbers don't lie. These people are still the greatest in their fields of what they did. And you have to understand that. When you guys start christening people, like I hear it on sports shows all the time. I've heard some sports shows recently, and these guys are starting to talk about it. I'm like, shut up, man. Like, if I watch Sportsnet or TSN one more time, they're both trash. And I watch them talk about Toronto Maple Leafs and how Austin Matthews, he won the #1 star in the All-Star game. And they start to talk about how he's even on the same planet as McDavid. It's ridiculous. It's not true. Stop listening to these people. I have no alternative motive whatsoever. I don't want your press pass. I don't want to be invited to things. I wouldn't come anyway. So the bottom line is, I'm trying to explain to people, you are watching great people, but there's people that came. Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time, but we're watching everybody tell you today, oh no, it's LeBron James. It's not. It's not. It's just not. And that is what people don't understand. They see what's today and forgot about the past of all these great athletes that came before them. Sorry about the rant and sorry about the profanity, but they had to be injected into those spots today because enough is enough.
Hot take from Mark. Well, everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks, Max Griffin, for joining us. Good luck in your fight, February 10th.
And you got to watch it now. You got to watch it.
Absolutely, we do. What a weekend of sports we got coming up.
Yeah, you got to watch it.
Absolutely.
And we might have a show on Monday, but we might not now because I know Jesse, he goes a little bit extreme on Super Bowls, Super Bowl days. So we have to be careful with Jesse because we're not sure right now.
Thanks so much.
I might be talking to myself.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Crystal Glass and Backscape, for sponsoring another episode of the Me and Jesse podcast. Yeah, go Niners. That's what I can say.
Yeah. We all want them to win.
Jeez.
Eric Harris, could you imagine?
Oh, man. That's what we want. We want Eric Harris to get a ring.
We want him to get the ring, and then we want him to come back on the Me and Jesse podcast, and we want him to put the ring right in the camera.
Yeah.
And we want him to be successful. Listen, I have never. He wanted to send me gear.
Yeah.
I told him no. I went and purchased it. And he said, Mark, you didn't have to do that. I said, yes, I did. I said, I want you to win. I want to support what I mean by supporting your brand isn't just showing people on our podcast. It's actually paying for it. I feel better paying for it, even though that he makes, millions of dollars. It's not relevant.
Yeah. Well, everybody, thanks so much for watching. That's Mark Pavelich, Jesse Martineau. That's been the Me and Jesse podcast. See you next week, everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks for watching the Me and Jesse podcast. Follow us at facebook.com/Me and Jesse.